What is going on, explorers? Today is another one of those days. I hope your energy's up. I hope your eyes are open today. We got a special episode, but before I get into that, let me go ahead and play the intro music. What is up, explorers? Before this episode begins, I just wanted to remind you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you check the link in the description below. Take you directly to our Patreon if you would like to support. You could support us for the low cost of a caramel ice cap from Tim Hortons. That's it. So if you'd like to support, make sure you go ahead, go to the Patreon link in the description below, and enjoy the episode. Peace.
Perhaps your skills do extend a bit farther than basketball.
As I was saying, my name is Dante. We are 𝓁 Dante, and today we got. Who do you got in the building today?
Yo, what up? It's 𝓁.
We got 𝓁, or as some people on the streets call him, Murray Hop, apparently.
Murray Hop? Is that the word on the streets? Who's that?
I can't say that.
Who do I gotta take to task for that nickname?
You know who you are.
I know who you are, too. I think you might have Post-it notes. I don't know. No big deal. You just started some beef.
No. Someone just said Murray Hop. I'm like, on Instagram, it does look like Murray Hop.
I know, dang. Got me out
But
here.
no, honestly, I get that a lot. People call me 𝓁 Dante, and I'm like, it's 𝓁 because it's French. You know what I mean?
This is actually how you say it, but whatever, man.
Yeah.
You gotta give people that, you know?
Yeah.
Like when people say my name like sideways or wrong or something, I always gotta be like, nah, it's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll correct them if I feel like
I feel like it.
But nah.
But you know what I do like to do whenever people get my name wrong? I like to cleanse the energy, right? So before we even start this episode, we got some incense that I'm going to start up. And then we're going to just dive deep right into it because me and 𝓁, we have these conversations. If you haven't already, make sure you go and check the first episode we did because we talked about some deep-ish. But yeah, let me go light this incense and then we will hop right back into it. And actually, another thing, I have intermission music now. This is another thing.
Come on, yo, look at us.
I know. I've been saying every episode. This is episode 73.
Holy shit, dude, 73?
73. And
whoa.
I know, right? It's crazy. But
Nice.
when I was starting, I was like, man, I keep having to go and do stuff like mid-episode. I'm like, man, I wish I had intermission music. Now I have intermission music.
Finally.
Inspired by The Godfather. So let me go ahead and play that, and I'll be right back.
Say what's wrong or right. No. It's not hard to fool me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah. Lead the way. I follow. No need to say. No. Where we are heading now, babe. I follow.
Oh, that's a nice incense right there. Come on.
Yeah, we started it. Everything's good. We got the energy going. This is actually, if I'm not mistaken, I should have grabbed the pack because we have like studio incense here. I believe that one might be the evil go away one.
Yo, evil go away? Come on.
Yeah,
dude.
it might
You
be that
have
one.
to.
It might be that one, or it might be the cannabis one. I don't know.
Dude, either one, honestly.
Either way, the evil's going away. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
we're trying to get the evil out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's in the spirits around here. I don't know what it is.
All right.
There's pastries here.
So, I guess we'll just do a continuation of what I've been doing. The
Let's do it.
last two episodes, I've been watching this video on Thoth the Atlantean.
I like it.
You know,
Shout out ancient Egypt.
Shout out ancient Egypt. Shout out Kemet. Shout out Atlantis. You know, they might all be one and the same. Who knows?
Dude, it probably is. It's all the same stories, right? It's like you look and you're like, wait a second, like this guy is actually this guy who's actually this guy, and they all just have different names.
Yeah. So that's what we found out in part 1. So basically, in the video, and we'll go back to the video.
Yeah.
He was saying how, you know, Thoth is Hermes. And then Hermes Trismegistus is a combination of Thoth and Hermes. And then so they combined those two people and created Hermes Trismegistus.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
See, learn it.
So it's a combination of the two, right? Because what ended up happening was that they were like in ancient Greece, they were worshiping, you know, Hermes. Right, but it was from Thoth. But so like, oh, we gotta combine the two.
Oh shit!
Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great. You know, mind, body, and spirit.
Man.
You know what is it? The what's the Holy Trinity? It's like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
that's the thrice great.
Shit, dude. See, that's what it is. It's all the same thing.
It's
man.
all the same thing.
Stories.
But then we find out deeper down that even Mercury, right? Mercury, which is the Roman equivalent, is also Thoth, because it's the same idea. It's the same feathered serpent, winged sandals type dude with the caduceus.
That has all this information,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Created the alphabet or something, right? Something like that.
So and that's the thing. So Thoth is known to create the alphabet, science, language, you know, writing, teaching, like all that stuff. He invented that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. Who knows? It's up to the interpretation. Maybe.
Well,
he was a real man with a bird head.
Well, yeah. So the way my interpretation is like to the Kemet, right? To the land of Kem. So the people that Thoth went to.
Yeah.
To them, he invented it, right? But he learned it in Atlantis. So in reality, he's just teaching these people.
Fair.
Right? But to them, it's like, oh, they invented it. But it's like, nah, I just taught you guys. You didn't know about it. Right? Yeah.
You could do this.
But I think when you look at it from like the ideal perspective, right? You know, he came and he taught, he gave all this thing. So it's like, okay, who's giving out all this knowledge? What kind of knowledge? Who's invented chemistry, bro? Like,
I need to know.
We
Where
need
all
to
this
know.
shit come from? Because for real, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make
check
sense.
Out. You know what I'm saying? We pretend like, oh, we all just came up with this.
Can I actually? You know what? We'll do it this episode because I wanted to talk about. I was telling you about how that one scene in Avengers, how it exactly lines up with the description of Thoth. So I'm gonna pull up. Loki, if I can type. Loki, Avengers. That's not how you spell it.
Honestly, spelling trips me out sometimes. Like if I try to spell a word too many times, I'm like, that's not real.
All right,
I just gotta let it go.
All right, so this is the scene right here. You're a fan of like comic book movies and like Marvel?
Yeah. I'm not like super tuned in, but I've seen a good amount.
Bro,
of them.
you need to tap in. These Marvel movies,
I need to watch the whole motherfucking Avengers.
You gotta watch it over again,
dude. I've seen some of them. I've seen a few
of them.
I think I saw Thor. I saw Loki.
Okay.
I saw.
Do you have something to write this down? Because I want to
do it. Yes.
I just want to. We'll come back to this time because this is where we left off at.
All right, I got notes.
You got notes? All right, note down 5233 in this video. Once again, we're going back to the video by 𝓁_MEO, KURIMEOAHAU. That's the creator if you want to subscribe to him.
I'm actually going to put that in my phone right now too because I need more of this in my life.
All right. So you got the timestamp down?
Yeah, we good.
All right. So I just want to go back to this part where Thoth himself is talking about when he first gets to ancient Egypt, which is not, what we forget is Egypt is the Greek word for that area. Right?
That's crazy. Okay.
Right?
Sure.
So that's Egyptos, but before it was Egyptos, it was Kem, right?
Oh, true.
So because the Egyptians went to the land of Kem to learn about chemistry and stuff. So everything that the Greeks learned, they learned from the land of Kem.
That's crazy.
But then because the Greeks became more worldwide known or whatever.
Yeah, they have the big dudes up there. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever it is,
Socrates,
whatever it is. Yeah, they started calling the land of Chem Egypt. So Egypt is actually a Greek word. It's not
That's
like
crazy.
an African word. But anyways,
damn, I'm learning.
we're learning. This is
Come
what
on, dude. This is great. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm finally tapping into my culture. You know what I'm saying? We getting deep roots right here.
Yeah.
Shout out Egypt.
Shout out Egypt. Shout out the land of Chem. All right. This is it right here. This is the spot. So I'm gonna play this little section here, and we can turn this up, and then we're gonna play the other section. All right.
Let's do it.
All right. So let's mute these. Here we go.
Ham, right? Ham, Chem. And you saw that Thoth had a temple in the city of Kum, or Chem. Let's continue. Raging, they came.
So right here, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so tricky. All right. So right here where it says, hold on, I think maybe I need to go back a little bit further.
But
All right. You know what? Let me just play this part. We'll play through the whole part, and then we'll talk about it.
It's
All
gone,
right?
right? It's banished from the earth. All right. So now they're on a ship. Let's continue. It says, fast we fled toward the sun of the morning. Right? What does that mean? That means they went towards the east, because that's where the sun rises, right? The sun of the morning, right? So they're in the Atlantic, like Plato said, the Atlantic Ocean, then they're going towards Africa or that side, right? Until beneath us lay the land of the children of Chem. All right, the children of Chem, or Ham, right? Ham, Chem. And you saw that Thoth had a temple in the city of Kum, or Chem. Let's continue. Raging, they came with cudgels and spears, lifted in anger, seeking to slay and utterly destroy the sons of Atlantis. So they came attacking the children of Chem, like, who's this people in this ship, and who's these weird people from Atlantis, right? So they're shooting them, right? So look what Thoth did to them, right? It says, then raised I my staff and directed a ray of vibration, striking them still in their tracks as fragments of stone on the mountain. So he did some kind of technology, some kind of weapon of vibration. Sounds like some sound energy, right? Like the police used the sound thing, right? Frequency. Striking them still in their tracks as fragments of stone of the mountain. So they were like frozen, they couldn't move. Then he says, then spoke I to them in words of calm and peaceful, telling them of the might of Atlantis. So once he had them in a trance, or in a vibration where they can't even move, they have to pay attention, or they're afraid, right? He spoke to them calm and peacefully, like putting a spell on them, right?
All right. So this is where I gotta pause it, because this is,
let's go.
So we went over this passage, right?
Yeah.
Flew to the land of Chem. Then he's over. Then they're cheesed at him. They're like, "What are you doing here?" They're yelling at him. Then he raised his staff and then directed a ray of vibration, striking them still in their tracks as fragments of a stone mountain. Then he spoke to them calmly and peacefully, telling them the might of Atlantis. All right,
That's
so
crazy.
These are Thoth's words we're reading, right? Because this is from the Emerald Tablet.
Yeah, straight
all right?
up.
So
That's
watch
wild.
this. Watch what happens when we watch the man dressed in emerald. Ray of vibration.
Kneel before me. I said.
Oh, my fucking way, dude.
Crazy.
There's no way that's literally, it's the exact same thing.
It's the exact same thing. So this is what's crazy. It's like, we all love these movies, but it's like, why do we love these movies? What story are we relating to? Are we relating to the Avengers story? Or are we relating to the Thoth story? Because apparently it's the same story. You know what I'm saying?
Apparently they got inspired a little bit from somewhere. I don't know.
I know, right? My
We're
teacher
seeing it, and that's what I'm saying, though, dude. There's some crazy shit going on here. Like,
but look at this. It literally, he shot the ray of vibration, and then I was like, yo, what's this guy? And then he's like, chill, all right? He's like, everyone calm down. And then we get to this part where he's talking.
Is not this simpler? Is this not your natural state? It's the unspoken truth of humanity that you crave subjugation. The bright lure of freedom diminishes your life's joy in a mad scramble for power, for identity. You were made to be ruled. In the end, you will always kneel.
Not to men like you.
There are no men like me.
There are always men like you.
Look to your elder people. Let him be an example.
gonna do the old man like that, but still.
But isn't that crazy? So we just read, these are the words from the Emerald Tablet. And then we see them depicted basically word for word.
Yeah.
In one of the biggest movies of all time, the Marvel's Avengers, but
Crazy.
And that's just one movie. Like,
oh, and I know that there's so many things like that, right? And like old Disney shit too, for sure. It's all like, I feel like it's all the same stuff, man. It's all wrapped up. This is all like ancient imagery that they're working with, and like ancient stories and stuff that are just being retold and changed a little bit by little bit. But
so let me ask you this: do you believe that they're ancient stories, or do you believe that there's only like a specific amount of stories that we can tell?
oh shit, like we only have the capacity to tell so many different things.
Well, it's almost as if like, when you watch enough movies, you can almost see where the movie's gonna go, right? Because a lot of these movies have the same plot, right? We have the guy, he was on top of the world, then he had to be humbled, and then
But he had to go back up, but it was kind of harder the second time, but it was really worth it for him to go through all that effort.
exactly.
Man. Like,
And now you have Iron Man 1.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. Literally, dude in the desert comes from nothing, but he's Iron Man. He's rich. He can make a suit that fucking takes him to It's
Crazy. So this is just Marvel. Like, I think like those kind of stories, like the hero's journey where you have to start from nothing, work your way up. I think not only are these like stories that for some reason everybody can relate to. I mean, everyone can relate to try to better yourself, right?
Yeah.
But it's almost as if like for some reason we have to see this story everywhere. You know what I mean? Like we have to
see the same story in everything, in the movies, in the songs,
in the books,
and everything. Man.
Everything.
I gotta see a dude or a lady or whoever, a person, even an animal, whatever it is, try to do good. You know what I'm saying? Like try to they go through the whole journey, the whole up and down. Like shit looks hard, but it's gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just.
do you think that there's a reason why these stories have like withstood the test of time? Because as we just saw, this story literally comes from Atlantis, which is so old, probably doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's like literally just like conspiracies on Google saying like, hey, like this kind of looks like some rings that could have been Atlantis in the desert here. That's pretty crazy.
I've seen those videos.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh man, like I don't know if this is real, but
So like, what about these stories? What do you think it is about these kind of stories that make them show up all over the place?
It's gotta be like they're just universal, man. I don't know what it is. Like there's something. I think it's just like the root of them. It seems like it's so old that it's something we all connect to.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? It's like every human is pretty much the same.
So
like
you think it's like a universal type story?
I think so, man.
So
I think no matter what.
Do you think
that.
like because here's another one, right? Because the David and Goliath story is also like a universal story. Everyone's the underdog.
big dude.
Yeah.
Gotta take him down.
So maybe there's something to that, because I was just put onto this theory, and I don't know if we could go too deep, because this is another wormhole.
I know,
like,
dude, it's just like it's walking into water. Like, I don't know what's down here. Like, I'm gonna start talking about it, but it gets a little fucking weeded.
bro.
Like,
So someone,
let's go. I'm down.
somebody put me onto this idea,
Yeah.
and it's called the ISIS theory. And
Yeah.
basically, the theory is that humans are the majority of our DNA is what's known as junk DNA, right? So that's what today's scientists have been saying. Oh, we have 2% usable DNA, and then 98% of it is junk
just
DNA.
trash. We're just made up of complete trash.
Right? That's what they were saying. But then there's this theory that came out that started to show that when it's like right at that moment when you die, that junk DNA now gets switched on. Right?
Come on.
This is what's crazy. So
okay.
Right as you die, that 98% gets switched on.
Cool.
And the theory is like the ancient Egyptians knew about this. This is why they were so fascinated by death.
True.
Right? So
that makes sense. They had all these customs and
right, focused around death. And basically what this theory was saying is like at death, that is when the DNA like basically boots on to be able to make changes and to improve for the next like iteration.
Yeah.
Right? So you ever heard the term like whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger?
oh shit.
That's
It's kind of like from that. It kind of comes from some shit like that, right?
So I think, right? Because you know, we as humans, when we say we work out, right?
Yeah.
We work out by tearing the muscles, right? The muscle fibers. And then what actually makes us stronger is the healing from that, you know, destruction. So it's like you go to the gym, you lift weights, like, yeah, I got a nice pump or whatever, but that's because all your muscles are swollen and they have to repair.
Yeah, they're getting all tore up.
Yeah, and then when they repair, that's when you get stronger. So it's only in that like death, birth cycle that your muscles get stronger, humans get stronger, maybe your cells turn on, you know, that you go from that 2% junk DNA to, or 98% junk DNA to whatever percent is not actually junk, because
Can't be junk, dude.
It
There's
can't
no
be
way it's
junk.
We just can't perceive what it's doing.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing too, right? Like we kind of limited with like our senses. I was talking with homie about this yesterday, like how we're limited by our senses, right? Like we only have 5 senses.
Yes.
There could be all sorts of shit going on in this exact same space that we are not even aware of.
Yes, because
Dude, come on.
this is
That's
how
what I'm saying, bro.
I 100% believe on this one, because okay, so we have 5 senses, right? But they all combine into the 6th sense, which is, you know, what your hat is saying, right?
Eye, bro.
So when you combine the sense of touch, the sense of smell, you kind of see, feel, and be all these things in your mind.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Right?
Just existent.
Well, yeah. So it's like, yeah, I can touch this, but what is registering that I touched it? Your mind,
Your brain, yeah.
Right? Yeah, this light's too bright for my eyes, but what is it saying? Well, okay, the light's going into my eyes and then into my brain.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting a signal from your brain, pretty much.
Exactly.
It's just showing you what's happening.
So we have these 5 senses, but then we have like animals like snakes, right? This is what's
Yeah.
interesting, because snakes, they taste the particles in the air.
That's crazy.
That's how they smell.
That's fucked up.
Right? So
That's
you ever see the snakes where they stick their tongue out?
Yeah, they're just kind of like
Because they have
around.
other senses on their tongue that
crazy.
they pick up other things in the air. So I 100% believe that there's some sort of mystical, spiritual senses around us that we can't sense. We can maybe
sure.
tune into it.
we can tune
I
in
believe
a little bit.
bit.
You know what I'm saying? We try.
Depending on
Try
how
to take
much,
the deep breaths and, you know
depending
what
on how much shadow work you do.
yeah, and you know how many incense you light. You try to do your thing. You know what I'm saying? None of us are perfect. We're all just trying to get to that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I
We're
think
all
that's the
working
thing.
our way up,
That's
right?
it, man. We can't. You know, none of us are going to be perfectly in tune with that shit, but we're just trying to do the best with our human.
Yes.
Shit, you know?
And so, back to the ISIS theory, what's so fascinating, right? Because this is what really this is another thing that I've been thinking about. So in this theory, they were talking about how we once were single-celled organisms, right?
Yeah.
So we were once one cell, which means that our DNA would have been 100% like useful, because we're only one cell.
Yeah, we only exist in this.
Exactly.
Little space.
But now we're like a billions of cells.
Oh shit! So there is like,
so there might be some cells that we're not using most of the time. So when we go from a single cell organism, which is like 100% pure God being, whatever you want to call it,
only doing this one thing, like existing with this one purpose type shit.
Yeah.
That's
Versus humans where, you know, we can do so much, but we're scatterbrained. We don't know what to focus on. Our attention can be in 30 different places at all.
Sure. And your body is just doing so much shit that you're not even like paying attention to, you know, just to breathe and get fucking like oxygen to all your blood cells and like to move my arm when I say, hey, like do that. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, bro.
And some people, and this is what's crazy, you know, some people's body, they don't even, you know, function properly. Some people, they might be deaf. Some people, maybe they're blind and stuff like that. So, you know, maybe they have, you know, 99.5% junk DNA because they're, I don't, you know what I mean?
You never know. Like, you know, you don't get you don't get to choose the cards you were dealt.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you dealt some cards where you're like, this is a little fucked up. This is a little fucked up. This shit doesn't work how it should. You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, you know, going back to the ISIS theory, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll notice, sometimes the people that get dealt the worst hands can actually make the best out of it.
True.
Right? So
True,
it's like,
that's real.
oh, you know, I grew up in the hood, now they're a millionaire.
Exactly. Like I took that struggle and used it to kind of like push me to get this.
Right.
That's crazy too, right? Because I think that's part of it. I think that a lot of like success and shit, like, you know, and you see a lot of successful people or, you know, like what we would consider successful. You know, you have to struggle to get through shit. You know what I'm saying? You struggle, and you have to use that struggle to like build yourself up to
exactly
to be able to do good.
And this is, you know, why I'm so fascinated by the ISIS theory, because it's like, you know, even like Drake and 21, they dropped that song Privileged Rappers. Like, they don't know what it takes because they didn't have to struggle. They're kind of just chilling. Their studio time's been paid for. They didn't have to grind to get like 30 minutes in the stew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to like work your way up to this shit. You ain't start from the bottom. Like, you gotta like, you know, there's something you definitely get from that. I feel
100%.
Yeah,
and
100%.
You know, we're talking about Thoth and Kem and, you know, alchemy and, you know, the personal alchemy of like, you know, taking bad experiences of them and turning them into good experiences. Like that's, I think one of the ultimate secrets is like, even if something bad happens to you, if you can think of it or turn it into like a positive thing. This is why I like comedy so much. Cause it's like, you can, something so bad can happen, but if you can turn it into a joke and get laughter out of like something terrible, you know what I mean? Like, you know, okay, the war in Ukraine, but if you can bring light to that, you know, that's staying golden. That's alchemy. That's from the land of Kem. You know what I'm saying?
That's it, dude. Straight out, dude. It's magic. I think that's it, man. Like, it's, you know, you can make whatever out of anything. Nothing is inherently good or bad, but it's just how you perceive it. You know what I'm saying? And like, you can't knock yourself for like getting caught up in some shit because that's just how it's built, right?
Exactly.
But like, you gotta, or you can at least like understand that you have the ability to flip shit. And
exactly.
Be like, okay, even though I went through this shit, wow, I could probably get through whatever. You know, you take it and use that energy to kind of like make something good, man. I love that shit.
Right. And then I'm sure you've heard. Actually, there's also, they've done shows on movies about this too, but like, have you ever heard of like, you know, the people that maybe they died, but then they came back to life? Have you ever heard like people that have those like near death experiences and then they come back and they go like, yeah, I can speak a whole new language or some shit. Like, have you ever heard of those things?
Dude, for sure. Yeah. Where it was just super fucked up. They saw death and they're like, I had the whole thing flash before my eyes, whatever. I came back. I'm different now. Like,
it's
crazy, dude.
So this is one of the reasons why I'm liking this ISIS theory. Right, because it ties into a lot of death and rebirth, which is, you know, this cycle,
everything, dude,
that we're in. Right, we're always in a death and rebirth cycle, and I think a lot of people forget that. A lot of people forget that we're in a cycle in general. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
People think everything's a straight line, but in
it's
reality,
always going up. And if it's not, what the fuck's going on?
It's going up, it's going down, but it's going back up, it's going down.
Dude, we have to just be with the waves, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what it is, right? Everything is like that. Everything's a cycle. Everything starts and then ends and then has, you know, and then starts up again. And then like, that's just life, dude. It's just a different amounts of these cycles that we're going through. You know
exactly.
It's crazy.
And there's so many different cycles. And one of the things I like about Hermes Trismegistus is if there's a picture of him. Can you pull up that timestamp?
Oh yeah, it was 52:23, I think.
52:23.
I'm gonna double check. 5233.
5233.
Yeah.
That's 53. All right. So like, okay, yeah, this is kind of where I was. But there's a picture. Okay, look, you see this? Can you see this little ball thing? So this little ball thing is like a symbol. To me, I think it symbols like all the cycles that the earth goes through.
Yeah.
Right? Because it looks like a little globe, but then, so we have the cycle of the seasons, and then we have the cycle of global warming, global cooling, and global flooding, global droughts. Like all these cycles, they literally come and go. And there's also even bigger cycles that we're not aware of, right? Like one of these big cycles that I've been fascinated by is the cycle of precession. Have you heard of that before?
No. What is that? Let's go.
Okay, so the cycle of precession is basically the fact that this is so hard to even explain because the cycle is so big that the fact that we know about the cycle is crazy, right? The cycle is bigger than the cycle of precession is bigger than how long our civilization has been, right? So we say our civilization's been here, 4,500 years, whatever. That's when civilization started. The cycle of precession is 25,000 years, like basically 26,000 years.
That's crazy.
That's how long that cycle is. And
we're in the year 2000. Oh, I think we something crazy, right?
Exactly, right?
Nah, man, this shit is fucking deep.
Right? So there's the cycle of precession to where so we have like the zodiacal cycle, right? So it's like Aries, Taurus, this, and then we go down that cycle, right? Yeah. So the precession is that same cycle, but on a higher scale.
Cool.
So what happens is the Earth, I mean, maybe I can just, let me pull it, because I could explain it, but,
No, I guess you, man. Some of this stuff, man, it's hard to put into words, like the crazy concepts that are being expressed, and especially when it's shit that this old, right? It's like English, I don't know how old English is, but it's not that old. You know what I'm saying? Like compared to this shit, and it's like a lot of stuff gets lost in translation. A lot of stuff, like you'll see one video and it says this, and you see another video and then it talks about it like this, and it's like, oh fuck, man. Like,
all right, so let's hop into precession, because like I said, this cycle is bigger than the current cycle we're even in. Well,
that's crazy.
We're in the precession cycle, right? Okay. So we go. Actually, I'm not even gonna explain it. Let me let the professionals explain it.
Let's do it. Come on.
All right, let's. Hey explorers, Dante here. Just wanted to remind you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and click the Patreon link in the description below if you would like to support. You could support the Patreon for the low cost of a caramel ice cap from Tim Hortons. So if you like to support the message, the platform, the page, go ahead and click the description below. Back to the episode. Fair use, fair use.
This is a huge mystery.
Now, these ancient cultures also seem to have mythological statements that had a lot of numbers in them.
Yes.
And the numbers were very curious to you.
I think the numbers are extremely important. There's a body of myths from all around the world that include what turn out to be, expressed in the language of myth and the symbolism of myth. What they capture is extremely precise observations of a phenomenon called the precession of the equinoxes,
right?
Which is, everybody's heard about the dawning of the age of Aquarius, and most people are aware that we're living towards the end of the age of Pisces right now. But what that actually means is that if you stand at any point on the Earth on the 21st of March, an hour before dawn, and look due east, you'll see a constellation sitting on the horizon, in the place where the sun will shortly rise. And that constellation for the last 2,000 or so years has been Pisces. But because of a wobble on the axis of the Earth, which unfolds very, very slowly and it's very hard to observe, we're gradually tracking backwards. The sun as a pointer against the zodiac is gradually tracking backwards through the zodiac.
1 degree every 72 years.
1 degree every 72 years. That's the key figure. And it's moving through Pisces and into Aquarius. And the time will come very soon when, as you stand at dawn looking due east on the 21st of March, the spring equinox, you'll see Aquarius on the horizon, not Pisces. Now, to observe this process is not easy. And it requires an accurate interest in astronomy, accurate astronomical observations, accurate solar observations, and for some reason, the numbers that relate to precession, as you rightly say, it unfolds at the rate of 1 degree every 72 years. There are 30 degrees to each house of the zodiac, so that means each age is 2,160 years. And since there are 12 houses of the zodiac, that gets you to 25,920 years for what's called the Great Year, when the entire cycle completes and comes back to the beginning again. It's astonishing that a whole sequence of numbers.
Come on, dude.
So he just mentioned the great year, right? So the great year, according to, precession of the equinoxes, is basically every 26,000 regular years equals one great year.
Oh, dude. That's so funny.
Right?
That's crazy.
So not only do we know about the great year, but the ancients knew about the great year.
That's crazy, dude. Has the great year? Oh, the great year is just a measure of time.
Yeah.
So 1 year is.
So 1 degree in the great year is 72 human years. So 1 human lifetime is 1 degree in the great year.
That's crazy, dude.
All right.
Damn.
So
that's big.
That's huge because the ancient Egyptians were tracking the great year, which means how long before that were they even measuring to even understand 2 degrees that had moved, bro? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
you must have been looking at it for
thousands of years.
Thousands of years, dude, and keeping track of because it's, how many? 2,600 and something?
26,000 years is the great year.
Okay.
Every 72 years is 1 degree, right? And you need 360 degrees
to know that,
to do the whole cycle.
Shit.
So you have to go through it 26,000 years for the whole cycle to continue.
That's
right?
Crazy.
Yeah. So this is what's interesting because this idea of precession, like I said, is old. It goes back to the land of Cam, bro. They knew about this.
They knew about this fucking thousands of years ago, dude. What
exactly.
the fuck?
So are we the most
crazy.
advanced?
Are we the most advanced? No,
I don't think so,
dude. No chance. And it's crazy because I feel I don't know if it's not a popular opinion or if it's just something that nobody would ever talk about because we all just think that oh man, yeah, the iPhone's great. This microphone's great. The internet, pretty new.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Totally new thing. But again, there's some shit when you're talking about civilizations that existed tens of thousands of years ago that were taking measurements of thousands of years.
Yeah.
We can't even fucking think of that. We think of all right, Jesus was 2,000 some years ago.
Exactly.
Before that was some other stuff.
And this is what's crazy because you'll ask someone that believes in Jesus, when did the earth start? And they'll be 2,000 years ago. And they'll be how's that even possible?
Jesus was the first one. Come on.
I had this conversation with somebody in the studio, right? They're so, Jesus, and then that's when the earth started. I'm so you think the earth is 2,000 years old? And then I'm how old is China then? And then you look it up, China's 5,000 years old. You're whoa, what?
Wait a second.
Whoa, what? China's older than the earth? That doesn't even...
That's it, dude. And then you realize... That's it, man. I don't know. I get it, though. Some people, it's just, I love having my mind blown like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things where I'm wow. I love that everything I know means is
nothing.
it literally means nothing, but then it's no pressure.
Exactly.
For me, at least. But some people feel pressure. They're oh my God, what do you mean everything I know isn't real?
Yeah.
What do you mean that all what I based my entire lifetime on and what my whole concept of my world and everything is not even a slice of the shit that's going on.
So how do you, yeah, that's a good point. How do you personally reconcile that?
Dude, for me, it's just, I love the relief, because sometimes it feels like life is so heavy, bro. You're like, oh man, like I gotta do this, I gotta do that, especially like our culture is so like hustle culture. You gotta do this, gotta do that. And you know what? I love that shit. Like I like working on stuff. I like the whole thing, but it, like, at the end of the day, it's like I understand that I don't need to, like, if I can't make a song today, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like my life, I have a lot of time to live, or, you know, whatever, God willing. And I could do whatever I can do, but it doesn't matter. There's so much going on, and there's so much like deep knowledge and like understanding. I don't know, man. I just think it's cool. I think it's cooler to see the world from like all these different places. And to understand that like this is something much bigger than just like, oh, I need to get a job.
Yeah. No, legit.
Like,
dude,
it's like, oh man, like
the world is so much bigger than, oh, I need to get a job. You know what I mean? Like, okay, obviously,
and you do.
You do need money.
I got one, and I got, you know what I'm saying?
This is part of the issue. You do need a job.
Yeah, you do need a job. That's the thing. That's, you know, we live in like these human bodies. We have responsibilities. We got people around us. You know what I'm saying? We got things we want to do.
Yeah.
So we get a job so we can accommodate these things. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're just playing the game. Yeah. We're just playing the game, bro. No matter what happens, you know what I'm saying? It's like, even if we get to a point where we get a better job, now we just got more money, more responsibilities. Money's going to more places. Like, at the end of the day, man. Like, you don't have to. I love new possibilities.
Yeah.
You know, there's
and I think for me, like, that's what I enjoy the most about, like, learning that there's more out there, right? I like the fact that I can just basically learn forever. You know what I mean?
For sure. And you don't have to sweat, like, no, I don't know. Like, I never am tripping that I don't know something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, everybody doesn't know something.
Exactly.
All the time.
Yeah, right?
It's like somebody's going to show you something and you're like, wait, you didn't know that? And I was like, yeah, dude, I didn't know that.
You didn't know precession exists, bro? What do you mean?
Bro, what do you mean? You don't know about the 2,600 year cycle that we're all on, that we're all fucking tapped into? Like, you don't know about Pisces?
Legit, right? And this is, you know, for me, one of the ways I'm able to like reconcile, you know, is the fact that, you know, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know anything. Meaning you can just keep learning more. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
and
dude,
even if you learn and learn and learn and learn and learn, the more you learn, this is what's so crazy. The more you learn, the more you realize you don't know.
Yeah, dude.
So every time I learn, I actually learn less because there's more stuff that I don't know. You know what I mean?
That's so funny, bro.
Like I'll watch like 3-hour videos, and then I'm like, oh dang, like now I'm like 3,000 years behind where I thought I was. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm actually 5 steps behind. Like, I watched this video, I put all this time into learning this thing to realize that I actually know less than I even thought I didn't know before.
Exactly. It's
crazy.
So you go to learn something, and all you learn is that you didn't learn shit, or you haven't learned anything. You know?
None of it, like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So just do it if you like it.
Exactly. And that's it, right? Like, for me personally, I enjoy learning, and I enjoy finding these things where I can blow other people's minds, because I like when my mind gets blown.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? When you drop some like crazy shit on somebody, like, wait a second, like, this ain't shit. Like, this iPhone ain't shit. Like, there might have been crazier technology. Like, we might all be connected to different dimensions that exist outside of our perception. That's crazy, bro. But the possibilities of that is also wild, right? It's what I feel like what makes life so much more exciting. Yeah.
Well, is it wild? Like, is it wild though? Because it is just life, right?
I guess it is.
So like in life, I think the way we look at life is too small, right? Because
we're just taking in our senses. We're like, all right, I see this room. Like, I see what I got in my bank account. When I go do this is how much this job. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of things you can grab onto.
Exactly. But once you tap in, I think once you tap into the spiritual journey, which is, you know, quest for knowledge, quest for self-discovery, whatever you want to call it, it's a endless pursuit. But it's an endless pursuit. Like, okay, so people will say like, oh, like, you know, getting money is an endless pursuit because you can always get more money, you know. But I can always add to my my spiritual power level. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude, for sure, dude. I could meditate better today. You know what I'm saying? I could take a deeper breath. I could visualize the situation that I want for myself better.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of like different stuff, and you know, like it's a journey.
Yeah,
and you got to be patient with the journey and enjoy the journey.
Yeah,
with your life.
Well, and that's really it. And this is something that you know, I would say I didn't struggle with, but it's like nowadays I'm more focused on enjoying the journey, like enjoying the like the flow state, but not just like, you know, the hour to hour flow state, but like, you know, I'm trying to be like in a flow state for like a year, like, you know, when people
like
like
a whole ass day,
a whole day, a whole year, just like,
oh my God,
just going and just living,
just existing,
you know, trying not to think about whatever, or do think about this stuff.
Yeah, but it's hard not to think about it, right? We're still like humans, and our brains are just like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And like, especially with stuff like this, when it's like, you know, trying to understand like big ass concepts like that, or trying to like tune in with something that's greater than like the shit that we see, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think there's always new heights, dude.
But
you know, try shit.
One thing I will say is that I think having the bigger perspective also helps understanding the smaller things. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's that's a bar right there. Come on, man. That's
because because like you understand the universe goes through these cycles, right?
Yeah.
People also go through cycles. Sometimes people are up, people are down, you know.
For real.
Sometimes America's Republican, then we swing back, then it's Democrat, then it goes back to, and you know, it's these same things. So it's like, you know, the more you study the universe, the more you study yourself, because where's the universe? It's in you.
It's in you, dude. It's in you. It's in y'all. It's in everybody that's watching this. It's in all of us. This is just a shared experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, man? And it's crazy. And I think that like all of these things honestly like help bring a lot of like peace to daily life. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Just like the understanding of like, okay, like everything is a cycle. If something seems a little messed up right now, this shit's gonna settle back down. Yeah. In a different, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll be a couple days, maybe it'll be a couple weeks, maybe you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, it's always gonna be moving.
Exactly. And that's one of the, you know, the 7 Hermetic principles, right? One of the 7 Hermetic principles is the law of, is it polarity? No, it's not polarity. It's,
I think it might.
No. It's, I can pull it up. I have it on. I have it saved on my Instagram, guys. Follow me at Chez Dante.
Chez Dante. CHEZ.
Yeah. Let's
Dante.
Right here. It is mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm. This is what I want to find. The rhythm. Everything's in a rhythm, right? Because the rhythm is like this, down. Right? So there's ups in the rhythm, but then there's downs. But even when you're in the down of the rhythm, you know that it's gonna go up, because that's how rhythms work.
Yeah, it's dude. If whatever goes down, it's got to go up. Whatever comes up must come down. Type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to appreciate it all.
Exactly. And this is another thing I think about, right? Because you have people, maybe they work in the office job, right? And all of a sudden, all their ups and downs are now like this. So they're just kind of chilling, like, you know, at like an almost dead hum. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just kind of buzzing on through.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy because, you know, that's what we're talking about. That's what's promoted. Everyone going to this
one thing. Life. Yeah, everybody kind of like get on through, you know, go through, get enough to do this, to do that, to do that. Like, but don't engage too much with anything outside that brings you like.
Yeah, but I think if you're living this up and down lifestyle, like I'm calling it life. You know what I mean? This up and down
life. Life is always up and down, no matter what you want. You know what I'm saying? You could try your best to keep some shit together, but.
Yeah, but I think if you try your best, that's where you get the people that are locked into these like jobs and lifestyles where they're just like cramped in, because like I want it to stay like that. I don't want the down parts of life. Right? Like, you don't want the down parts, so I'll keep my up parts also really low. You know what I mean?
Because you gotta like commit to both parts of it, right?
You gotta commit to the good and the bad, you know? Yeah.
That's it, dude. It's crazy. And I feel like, you know, it's like accepting like the bad and the good together, I think is is huge, dude. It's part of everything. It's part of the whole thing. We're talking about the cycles, the up and down. Everything is like this. Like you gotta
and even not even seeing it. Right. This is one thing that really, once again, like helps me with like my mind state. Right. Because when you look at it from a cosmic scale, right? From a cosmic scale, there's no such thing as good and bad.
Yeah, that's facts.
Right? From a human perspective, there's good and bad. Yeah, but even like from a bear perspective, bears don't know what good and bad is. It's like you do this, you go kill this thing, you go kill that. It's not good or bad. It's just
whatever. Just
mans are hungry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I gotta go take this thing out so I can eat. And,
right?
Give it to my kids. Whatever.
So if we can, I think, remove ourselves from that. Oh, this is good. This is bad. And look at it more of like, maybe this is bad right now, but it's bad for the sake of being good later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
that's
this is good right now, so alhamdulillah,
Exactly, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to say a prayer sometimes. That's it. That's so funny.
But this is just one of those things. You look at it from a cosmic scale and you realize, like, there's no really good and bad. There just is.
It just is. That's fucking heavy, dude. That's facts, though.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, I think that shit is just like brings me so much peace, right? Because then you realize that like at the end of the day, like you choose how you relate to shit that happens to you. You know what I'm saying? Every day, dude. And that's work. Like, and I mean, you could choose to do it or not. Like, no matter what, like, shit's gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
But like, you have to like, you could choose everything. Like, if somebody's making you upset at work, you could choose how to respond. You can choose why. And maybe that's just like a situation where you need to like, look deeper and be like, why am I upset or why am I mad about this? Whatever. But like, you can either take that or you could just like take the shitty emotion and not do anything with it and then just sit with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's where I think
it's the alchemy.
That's literally what I was about to say. That's where people are stuck because they're not doing the alchemy. Right? So they're not actually doing the science experiments. They're not turning the lead into gold. They're not turning that shitty experience into a good experience or a good outcome or a lesson. You know what I mean? Like if someone's cheesing you at work, right? And we're talking about cycles. That every time you go into work, one of the cycles is this dude's going to come up and say some nonsense. And you're going to have to deal with it. You know what I mean? We've all had those jobs where the guy comes up and says some nonsense. And now you're just like,
I can't believe that I'm here.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Listen to you say this to me right now.
But so if you know that cycle's coming, right?
Yeah.
And actually, I'm gonna add another layer of metaphors on this because I love doing this, right?
Yeah.
So this cycle's coming, right? That this ebb and flow is coming. This wave is coming, right? If you do the alchemy, you can literally surf on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's facts, though.
Yeah, because if someone's gonna cheese you, you're not gonna be sucked into the waters. You're not gonna be, this guy made me mad, so I'm gonna do something bad to me.
Yeah.
Someone does something to you and you're calm. You just be like, oh, haha, that was funny, and you literally just surfed on that wave. Like they didn't do nothing for you. They didn't cheese you, and actually, you might even be in a better mood because you know that. Now they can't cheese you and stuff like that. Like that was
that's it.
That was one of the things that I had to learn like in like middle school, like elementary, like people would just try and cheese you for no reason.
Test you.
Yeah.
That's it, dude. That's life.
And if you never let them get that reaction, like, cause all they want is the reaction, right? So it's like they're doing all these things. So like, so you can be like, yo, stop bothering me. But if you never do that, to yourself, like, okay, like this is strengthening me up because I know that I have the control not to give them what they want.
Into it, dude.
Exactly.
Because you see the game, man. You're like, I'm not even going to try to do this. And that's the thing, man. And even with like, especially like work, like that's a great, I think, metaphor like situation because everybody's got that, right? You got the boss, you go in and then it's like, they make somebody mad, they make everybody mad, but it's like, but if you just choose to not be bothered or whatever, laugh it off, it could be fine.
It will be fine.
Well, that's it, right? Like maybe it's fine. Like maybe now it's done right there and it doesn't get taken to another thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I've worked with people and I've seen them get caught up with like, the manager said this to me, acted like this way, and then they just go back and forth and then they quit and like
then they quit. Then now they're losing money because now they're in this.
And I get it. Man.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has their different threshold for shit that you can deal with. But I think that like the higher the threshold you have, like the better your life can be.
Yeah, 100%.
Like if you could just deal with whatever's coming at you, like no matter how crazy it is.
Yeah.
you know, let it be, and then like let it go. Then
yeah, exactly.
You're fine.
Then you're good.
That's it, man.
Well, I think we're at like the 54-minute. We basically went through a whole hour, like talking about flow state. You know what I'm saying? We'll end it off with this. One thing I like to ask the guests is, 2 things that you're grateful for. So what are 2 things? It could be anything in this universe that you're grateful for today.
Nice. Dang, dude. I'm grateful for my family. And I'm grateful to have something to work towards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I feel that. I feel that.
That's all it needs to be.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. How about you? What you
for
got?
me, let's see. One thing that I'm grateful for, one thing that I'm grateful for is, we're talking about mental alchemy, is all the trials and tribulations that I went through before getting to this moment.
Nice.
Right. So that's one thing that I'm grateful for, because I know for a fact, if I didn't go through the stuff that I went through, I wouldn't be who I am today.
That's facts.
Right. So that's one thing I'm grateful for. And,
that's dope.
Another thing, and I kind of spam this all the time, but like another thing I'm grateful for is like, I'm grateful for the chief to allow me to like use the space in the studio.
Yeah. Shout out 𝁟There.
Shout out to 𝁟There for real.
Use the space. I got a music video coming out. I filmed here.
We didn't even get into that. We'll do a little thing. We'll do a little thing. But, one of the things is like, I'm so grateful I get to use this space because it allows for my creative energy to just expand outward. I've been in different environments where, creative ideas or different perspectives are not encouraged.
Not encouraged, not really liked. Like you come to like the group meeting and then you kind of say some shit like this. You're like, hey, but like, have you guys heard about ancient Egypt and then, like the Emerald Tablets? And there's really a lot of stuff here if you really look into it and like the way that the symbology is.
And then like, hey, here's a card for a mental ward. There you go.
Here you go. Please stop.
But no, I'm grateful because being able to be here and just freely express my art, create whatever it may be, no limitations, no nothing. I'm super grateful for that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, if we want, we can. You want to end out on a song, or we can play something out to close out the episode.
Let's do it.
All right,
we're gonna pull up a song. So we go into my Spotify. By the way, everybody, my name is 𝓜. I'm putting out a live album soon.
Hey,
that's it. Come on, we got some music coming out. I'm very excited about it.
Nice.
This is a track off my last album that I also is gonna be on my live album with my band. Let's throw on I Got It.
I Got It.
This is a nice smooth summertimey song. Getting dreams of vacations, you know what I'm saying? Let's let this take you away into a nice sunny day, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you for coming by. This is I Got It by 𝓜.
Let's go.
If you guys are tapped in, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys leave a comment. Make sure you guys tell a friend to tell a friend.
Come on.
And make sure you guys also tap into the Patreon, because there is a bunch of exclusive content on there that's not on the IG. It's not on the YouTube. It's nowhere but the Patreon. Where can the people find you?
That's it. My name is 𝓜, again, at 𝓜 Hip Hop on pretty much everything, 𝓜hiphop.com. You can peep it. I appreciate y'all so much. Hey, have a great day. That's it.
Peace.
Peace.
I got dreams of vacations. Baby, we can see the world, feel the sensation. We ain't gotta look around upon the frustrations. We ain't gotta spend another second fixating. I got dreams of vacations. Baby, we can see the world, feel the sensation. We ain't gotta look around upon the frustrations. We ain't gotta spend another second fixating. You got other things we need.
Further. I'm sorry. You said my skills extend farther than the basketball court. Farther relates to distance. Further is a definition of degree. You should have said further.
What's up, explorers? Hope you enjoyed the episode. just a reminder, once again, if you haven't already, go ahead and check the link in the description below to join our Patreon. There you'll find exclusive behind-the-scenes content that's not for the YouTube, just for the Patreon, just for those that want to go that next step further and support the page. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, leave a comment. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you would like to see, if you have any topics. But, you know, topics is for the Patreon members only. So go ahead and check out the Patreon. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Later. Peace.